He said, have you noticed there's more police? And I said, no, there's not really more police. You upped the Austin police 3 years ago before you even got here. You're just having them drive around with their sirens on. You're having them drive around in groups. And he said, you're an astute young man. That's exactly what we're doing, high visibility, to create the perception. So, see, to the police, it all sounds reasonable. Oh, we've got higher crime rates increasing, so we got to set up checkpoints, and the end justifies the means. We'll end up catching more criminals. We'll end up catching more felons, more drunks. But everybody knows when they catch an illegal alien, the biggest culprits, they're ordered to let them go, or they get a slap on the wrist by the judge, $50 fine on average, and are released. Or if they call ICE, ICE won't pick them up. Or the New York Times reported earlier this year that Homeland Security takes them to government job centers and gives them jobs and green cards. So they'll come pick the illegals up now, but they'll take them and give them a job. Because they're there to drive down wages. You understand? They're a key economic military force. And as society breaks down, as crime rates explode, as things unravel, you're going to have the police more and more under pressure, the citizens calling for more and more. And yes, they are running checkpoints. The Army is showing up at checkpoints. And as riots break out in the next 3-4 years, as society degenerates, the public will say, thank God the Army and Marines came out and restored order when they were burning this area of the city or looting that area of the city. And then the precedent is set. Just like they set the precedent with National Guard and regular Army in New York. Now they're in Dallas. Now they're in Phoenix. Now they're in Tennessee. Now they're all over California and Oregon. The regular Army, regular Marines with sidearms searching citizens' cars at checkpoints with big lights out in the middle of the night and in the broad daylight. And when local reporters pull up the videotape it, troops walk up and say, turn your camera off. So, yes, we are going into martial law, and it's going to be sold and it's going to be billed as something good, and in many cases it will be. It's kind of like if you have bad arthritis, the first time you're given corticotropic steroids, like cortisone, it helps the first year or so. But then a year or two later, it kicks in and degenerates your joints 20, 30 times faster to where you can't walk. It makes your heart tissue disintegrate. So see, that's the parallel here. Oh, yeah. The globalists have engineered a system where military will be needed on the streets, more police violating the Bill of Rights in a state of emergency will be needed, and then the precedent set. They engineered the crisis to then offer the solution, and the average cop doesn't know that. They're not involved in social engineering, master planning, though all this is on paper in public. And in the end, it's going to destroy us. Are you going to be the one when inner city populations are burning down large areas of cities? If it comes to that, a lot of evidence shows it will. Are you going to be the one out complaining as the fires get nearer your neighborhood and there's Army out there shooting looters? See, people are saying, oh, the military isn't going to shoot at U.S. citizens. But see, just like the feds made aid not be allowed to come into New Orleans, just like they ordered people into the Superdome, just like they wouldn't let people get out on the major highways. They could get out at 4 or 5 different places. Just like the National Guard would try to bring food in, were ordered not to. Walmart tried. The fire departments from Houston tried. The Houston Police Department, only less than 100 miles away, tried. The local police and county tried, and the FEMA came in and with fire axes and hacked their communications as the hurricane was hitting. That's on record. So when everything broke down, FEMA could say, oh, look, we screwed up. We need even more funding and power for the martial law to come. And, oh, they didn't send the military with aid. They sent them into the high and dry areas to loot homes and take people's firearms. And they'd catch people going across Lake Pontchartrain with their own firearms and granddaddy's shotgun, and the police, the feds, would board their boat and steal their family heirlooms, and they never got them back. It's social engineering, ladies and gentlemen. And you better get wise to it, and you better understand what's happening and how this is being done. On the second point, one of my greatest frustrations is I don't have time to go through all the patriot music and patriotic anti-New World Order stuff out there. I know a lot of folks send it to me, a lot of people call me, and I'm just so busy making films, writing books, doing the show, that I can't reach out to all the incredible people, but know that I admire you all and just think you're great, and keep it up. I salute all of you. Some people get scorned because I don't return their calls or emails. I can't even listen to half this great stuff I've sent. More of your calls straight ahead. All right, I just spent 10 minutes with one caller. It's almost impossible for me to take a lot of calls, but we're getting better at it. Ryan in Wisconsin. Ryan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. I wanted to say thanks for waking me up. I had a question for you. Basically, I want to get your opinion about something. Before I was hit to the whole biometrics thing, I went to Disney World and I scanned my finger, and I was just wondering what that means, in your opinion, as far as Mark of the Beast.
Well, guaranteed, because all these companies have been caught doing it. Disney has sold that to Homeland Security. They had big consortium meetings starting about 12 years ago. We've seen the corporate minutes. We've read them on air. From big biometric global standardization consortiums. They had a UN treaty in 2000. The U.S. signed on to it at the meeting in Australia for a world standardization of biometric retina scan, thumbprints, fingerprints, palm prints, and global standardization of other biometric data, RFID standardization. So they have a global standardization. And so you can read the corporate minutes of these RFID conferences, and the Pentagon will be there. In fact, you can pull up USA Today. The exact headline was in 2002, going from memory, something like, try this right now. Let's see if I'm accurate, guys. Let's see if I'm accurate right now. This is from 2002. It was a USA Today headline. Then off that, I went to the consortium website. It was a Chicago biometric meeting in 2002. Again, there's scores of these, but I'm just giving you one of them. Not my opinion. I'll give you fact. Universal adoption of RFID by 2005. And then you read the article, the Defense Department ordered industry, and so that the Defense Department could order this to put in their, quote, control grid. Walmart teamed up with them at the time, had 34% of world retail. They're now about 40%, to force all retail manufacturers, the manufacturers of retail items, to adopt RFID in a global standardized system. They called it godlike control. That was then again in the news last week in a Wired magazine story. Also, there was another story out of the Register in England. In fact, print me that again too, guys. Headline, Rumsfeld says Pentagon to have godlike power to track everything. And so what they want is a biometric face scanning, thumbprint scanning, RFID smart dust system to track every slave on Earth. And this is the extermination grid. This is the tracking grid. Once it's in place, they can really then beta test the mass bioweapon releases and not just cull, 30, 40% of Africa, because there they've kind of got a news blackout and they can carry it out. They want to really start doing some heavy killing here. Go ahead.
So is there anything that I can do as far as, I'm not a totally religious person, but I somewhat believe in the mark of the beast and all that stuff. Is there anything I can do as far as fighting this? I made a mistake and did something that now, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have done. Is there anything I can do?
Well, the problem is the 501c3 churches, we never had that till the 50s. The feds told the churches they had to waive all their rights. The churches believed the mind trick and did it. It's all fraudulent. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. First Amendment begins with those words. And the World Council of Churches, set up by the Rockefellers 100 years ago, they have bought off all the major denominations, Catholic, Protestant, you name it. And so they're telling everybody, rejoice, give into this, you're going to be teleported out of here. Boy, are Christians going to be upset when they're not teleported out. That's why they're going to accept it. That's the great delusion. But that's what the Bible says, that the Antichrist will say he's Christ, and most Christians will fall down and worship him. The elect will be deceived. He will say he's Jesus, and they will believe it. But, you know, I don't even go there. I just, even if you're from a secular perspective, it is being tracked and traced and controlled. Imagine what Hitler would have done with these powers. Is this a good idea societally, historically? And the answer is absolutely not.